Alright, hello and welcome to, I guess you could say, another vlog. I think that's what this video is actually going to end up being. I was really hoping I could do a project video about what I've currently been working on. However, I realized I kind of got into the zone of things and didn't really pick up the camera very often to start filming. So I'm afraid that project is probably just going to be part of this vlog. The good news is it's not anything of my own design or my own manipulation. It is just directly following an existing pattern that you can still buy in stores. So it'll include, I think this vlog will go ahead and include the making of that dress. It's an Edwardian dress, the making of the corsets go underneath that dress, the making of the hats that I'm currently working on, and then a few upcoming plans for the next couple of months. I also recognize that it has been a minute since I've posted or filmed anything, and that's only because my work is really intense around the holiday season because my work is directly impacted by Christmas. Let's just go with that. And then of course I was also, still am, going through school as well. So I work a full-time job and I work full-time school, and that doesn't leave a lot of time for sewing. And the two classes that I was taking last semester were also a little bit difficult for me, so I wasn't really able to devote a lot of time to any of my hobbies, which was very annoying because I need my hobbies to unwind. But anyway, so I think this week has already been productive so far. I think I've actually started filming this vlog. I'm just doing the intro now. But I can go ahead and take you through what I've already accomplished this week so far, and then I guess periodically update you on what I'm doing. So behind you here on the dress form is the pattern I've been working on so far, and if this looks familiar, it's probably because it is. And this is a pattern that Angela Clayton has out in stores. This is her Edwardian evening dress pattern with the black chiffon overdress. And I do plan on doing the black chiffon overdress, but I don't own any black chiffon. I thought I did, but it turns out I tried to use it for a failed project a few months ago, so I no longer have any black chiffon. So that's on ice until I manage to acquire the black chiffon, the trim for that overdress, the boning, because I ran out of boning on the Edwardian corset, and is there anything else I need for that? I think a black applique. I'm not sure I'm going to do the applique or not because I kind of like the pin tucks on it. So we shall, this is basically, all this needs is a hem and closures and then it's done. But I would like to finish my corset before I finalize this because I'm pretty sure the corset gives me pretty significant waist reduction, which is interesting because that hasn't happened to me before. So I think the waist on this might actually be a little bit too big. And it also doesn't fit the dress form, so that's why it's hanging kind of funny. Okay, and the other thing I've been working on very recently is the Edwardian corset, which I went ahead and just made out of some of the linen I had in my stash and just some muslin for the lining because I wanted it to be really lightweight. I live in Texas and it's nice and hot down here, so having a lightweight corset with not a lot of layers of thick material is more my speed, if that makes sense. But this is the corset so far. It is enormous. It's a long line corset, so it goes from under the bust down to over the hips. It's for a swimming effect. I'd say this is probably like, think Titanic. That should be the period that we are sort of looking at, I think. Don't ask me to give you an exact date. I am not an expert, but that's what it looks like to me. Anyway, so this is basically almost done. It needs, I mean, it's in a wearable condition. I just don't have enough bones, which is why I think I'm going to get more significant waist reduction because the bones will, it'll stiffen it, which I mean, so the fabric won't buckle, and I think it'll hold its shape better when it's laced. Because I think without the extra bones in it, and I say extra, but it's really just kind of what's indicated on the pattern, it does fully lace in the back, which tells me that it's probably too big. But I think with the extra bones in place, it'll give me, there'll be a gap, I'm hoping, because I have less than half of the required bones in here right now. I still need quite a significant amount. But once I acquire those bones, I need to place an order and get them bones in, then it's good to go. And I actually really like the way I finished it on the inside as well. I have the waist day tucked underneath the twill tape, and it actually ended up being very lovely. I just wish it was a prettier color. It's really just kind of a plain, boring beige and white corset, but it serves its purpose. I also used up all of my twill tape on this project, so I need to buy more 1-inch wide twill tape. So there'll be an order in the future for me for a number of things. I need to make a list. The other thing I've been working on too is I'm on a bit of an Angela Clayton binge, if you haven't guessed, because she had a tutorial for a little heart hat, which I think is the cutest thing, and we're very close to, well, I say we're very close, we're coming up close to Valentine's Day, and I think a little heart-shaped hat would be just the cutest thing, honestly. And I really need to figure out how it is supposed to fit, because yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how the hat is actually supposed to fit, because I know I don't have the hair done, but I don't know. I'm still playing with the shaping on the hat, but it is very cute. I am very excited about it, and honestly I could probably finish this up at some point tonight, because I really just need to cover the top with the actual fabric that I'm going to be using. It is not going to be orange, it is going to be red. I have a red polyester satin and a red chiffon, so I think I could make a very cute little hat. Maybe I'll put some kind of like little veiling in the back once I figure out where the back actually is. Maybe I should go like that. That would be cute. Or no, maybe like that. Yeah, that would be cute. And I could put a comb right there in the top as well, like around here-ish, so it fixes itself into place. That's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that is a really good, cute. Okay, but yeah, I put some veiling coming off the heart here if I wanted to with the chiffon, or maybe a bow. There's options. There's options. And that will kind of fill in those little arcs as well if I have like the bow coming out from underneath the hats rather than on the back of the hats. That would be cute. So a satin hat with the chiffon bow. Yeah, okay, I like that idea. I wish I had some polka dot netting. That would be really cute in black. That'd be cute. But anyway, so yes, the hat is something I hope I can finish today. I'll try and film a little bit of that process for you. And then what else am I working on? Upcoming projects I'll probably do while I'm waiting for supplies to come in is remaking an Ann Adams mail order pattern. I've made this dress on the channel before, so I probably won't be filming that process because there's already a video on this. But I found the same fabric at an antique store, and I hope to just make it again because I ended up giving that one away. And I would like to add more vintage house dresses to my wardrobe. And then some alterations for some friends, and then a couple more Edwardian projects, but I will give the details of those a little bit later, probably. So I'm going to have a snack and get some tea, and I should do some homework and then get to work. Alright, hello. So I'm sorry I've been a little bit terrible at uploading, well, that too, but updating y'all this week. It's been a busy couple days for me because I've decided to go out and do things on my days off instead of, you know, stay home and work on all my projects. But it was interesting things, and I have good excuses, I swear. So yesterday, I found out, well, a few days ago, I found out that my favorite antique mall is closing. So naturally I had to go and spend all of my money and buy all the little things that I've been putting off buying from that antique mall, thinking, you know, it'll always be there because it's always been there. And I went ahead and just bit the bullet and bought everything that caught my eye that day that I could reasonably afford. So that was yesterday, and I spent basically like me and my mom spent like the entire day at that antique mall yesterday. And then today I went out with some friends who I've been wanting to spend some time with, and while we were out we went ahead and went to IKEA. So I picked up a couple of things from IKEA today, and it is 8:30 and I just got back home and I'm tired and it's rainy, which is why my hair is a mess. but I do think I should go ahead and show y'all at least what I got from those excursions. So hang tight, let me readjust the camera angle, go get my tea because I just heard the kettle click off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we'll start with IKEA because that's not as exciting as the Antique Mall. So what I got was these because they were like $3 for a 4-pack. It is the lint rollers, the refills for lint rollers. I have, I think, one left currently, so I just restocked. And then I got this. This is just a roll of craft paper because I also don't have any paper for drafting or modifying existing patterns into new pattern pieces or tracing off patterns that I would like to use to Frankenstein other patterns. So I went ahead and got a roll of craft paper. This is 30 meters, which is a little over 30 yards. You do the math, I don't know, Google it. And then the other thing I got, I'm actually quite excited about this one. I got this. This is a rolly rack. So this is just a simple bar that you can hang stuff on, and it's on wheels. I've been eyeing these for a little while, so I think some point tonight I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of rearranging in this room so I could find a home for this. I'm hoping maybe over there under my hooks with my hats on it. And this chair can go somewhere else, or I could put my sewing table back together the way it should be and put it there. It's a thought, so we shall see. To be determined, I guess. And then, right, onto the fun stuff, which you can see actually on that table conveniently. The hats. So I bought, at the Antique Mall, I bought hats and I bought a vanity set, and this is one of the hats. This is a felted hat. It's got a little bit of netting on it, which is in really good shape. Makes me think it was probably replaced at some point. And it's got this really cute little bow in the back, and a hat pin also came with it. So it's just a simple, you know, normal hat pin with like a little black base on it. But yeah, that was the first of the hats. Very cute. This one is, I'm very excited about. This is a very pretty hat. It's just a black velvet hat. It's got satin ribbon detailing and this very charming bow on the back. And this hat was actually made in France. So that's that one. And then I've got this hat, which is, it's hard to tell. Let me go over to where there's better light. But it's got these velvet leaves cut out and adhered to basically the entire top of the hat. And it's trimmed in sequin. This is just, you know, one of those hats that sits a little bit on the back of the head. It's very cute and I like it a lot. Most of the booths, because it was closing, were running like 50% off sales. So like this hat was originally $40 and I think I ended up paying like 30 something for it. And then the last hat is this one here, this little velvet hat, and it's got this sweet little gold bow on the side of it. I think it sits on the head facing towards you like that, and the bow's on the side. There is a little bit more wear on this hat around the edges, but it wasn't enough to deter me from buying it. It's actually very cute and very sweet with the gold piping on the green hat. I love the colors in this hat. All the other hats I bought are black, but I don't really like a lot of color in my wardrobe, so I don't mind the hats being black. And then the other very important purchase that I made was some beaver nuggets from Buc-ee's because they're delicious. But then also this vanity set. So this, and those 3 jars were all one item, and I think I paid about $30 for that. The bristles on the brush looks like they've been recently replaced because it was very clean. I did go ahead and clean all this when I got it home yesterday. So I got the brush, comb, file, cuticle cutter, and mirror set. And then I got the gold tray, the mirrored tray that everything is sitting on, the 3 jars, the little, pardon that, it wasn't actually sitting inside, a brass lipstick holder. If the camera would like to focus on that instead, that would be great. this little brass lipstick holder with this little guy playing a guitar, and then a napkin holder as well. So this is all a vintage vanity set. It's very cute and I like it a lot. I've been wanting one of these for a good long minute and now I have one. So I think in the jars I'll probably just go ahead and put like my bobby pins and my hair ties, so they're just tucked away nicely, ready to go. And that's what I got. So on to project updates, I suppose. Not that there have been very many of them. I do have plans for a Valentine's Day project this year. Maybe I'll make a video of it. I wasn't very diligent about filming just because I didn't know how it would go. But I started making a little heart-shaped hat. It's very cute. I think I'm going to call this done. I just need to line it and make a bow to fill in the arcs of the heart in the back so it doesn't sit so weird on the head. And I think to match, I want to go ahead and make the plaid version of this dress here. This is a pattern by Gertie. It's a simplicity pattern. I think you could still buy it at Joann's. But I like this secondary version with the slimmer skirt, and the back is actually quite sweet because it has these little flaps. You could see it really better on her over here, her back. Those little bits that fold out. I was thinking I could make the dress out of red, a black cotton sateen from my stash, which I bought for something else, but I think would be just fine making it out of that, and then make the back flaps out of the red satin that I have left over from making the hat. So that is a plan. And then of course that same 1940s dress that I've been talking about making, I'm going to go ahead and probably cut out the pattern pieces for that tonight. And I think that's updated. When I go ahead and get the room put back together and that shelf built, I'll go ahead and update you on what all of that looks like. My room is always constantly changing and evolving, mostly because I just can't settle on what I would like this room to look like. I don't love this room. I liked my old sewing room a lot better. This room is bigger, but I don't love it as much, and I don't know if it's just the wall color that I hate. It's hard to say, but I have some things I need to move around and change around and actually take out of here too. There's a number of things in this room that don't belong, and I think there's a number of things in this room that I just need to go ahead and say goodbye to and take out of this room. So we shall see. I'll let you know. In the meantime, toodles. Okay, I have a bit of a status update on what I've been doing this week. I went ahead and built my little rolly rack that I got from IKEA the other day. And right now I have all of my works in progress or semi-abandoned projects. So going through that real quick, that basket down there, this is a 1940s suit that I have mocked up but haven't cut out. Right above that is just a piratey, not piratey, but like an 18th century tunic that I did some very basic embroidery and some beadwork on. This is my Edwardian corset that I am making to go with my Edwardian dress. This is also in preparation for a couple of other Edwardian projects that I have coming up. Below that is some fabric and the pattern that I'm using for a Victorian project, which is mostly done, but I lost interest in. This has my Jen Urso vest in it that I am too scared to work on because it's intimidating. This has another corset pattern in there. I think it's, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's this one. I think. But the pieces are mostly put together too. It's going to be this little pink one. I just actually need to go in and finish it. This is stalled out because I ran out of supplies. This basket has the scraps in it from my yellow Edwardian dress that is waiting on supplies. And this is just a bunch of mending that I need to eventually get around to doing. And that's what's at the bottom. Now it's hanging. I have my combinations. I just want to change the straps on these because it's made out of a stretch lace, and I find that that doesn't really do much to hold them up. Other than that, they're fine. A pink 1950s dress, which had some really darling scallops trim and some scalloped pockets. but it's a little bit too big, and I also don't like the way I constructed it, so part of me wants to take it all apart and redo it, but that's a lot of work. And it's also a very delicate pink polka dot fabric, which I adore, but also makes it a little bit difficult to work with. And I think, did I do French seams? Can't tell if I did French seams or not. I did not. So that's a good thing. These are two projects. I need to try on the green one because I remember I don't like the way it fits, but I am willing to try it on it again and see if I've changed my mind, because that has happened before. Other than that, it just needs to be hemmed, and then it's done, really. And then this one, I deviated from the pattern. I shouldn't have. It's really cute, but it doesn't quite go the way I want it to. I don't have any more of this eyelet fabric, so if I do piece something into the back, then it's not going to be eyelet fabric, it'll be a plain white, which is fine, I suppose, but it also needs the closures done up. This is the Angela Clayton Victorian pattern. This is some trim that I was thinking about using around the sleeves. I don't know if I'm going to do little cap sleeves or ruffled sleeves, but it is mostly done. I need to also go in and stitch down the gathering here in the front. Closures are on there. I just need to do a waistband on the skirt, attach the skirt to the underskirt, and then hem it. And then I could see about what kind of trimming I want to do. It'll probably be pretty basic, but I do want to do something cute around, I think. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep it really basic and just do some cute little ruffle sleeves. And then the Edwardian project, which is currently waiting on the other components of it, I also need to install closures in the back and then do some hemming, and that is that project. So those are my works in progress. And then the other thing I've been working on is recreating this 40s dress. I really loved this pattern, and I made it before out of the exact same fabric, but it was too small, so I gave it to a friend of mine. But I recently came across the same fabric at an antique store, so I'm going to make it up again. And just like last time, I had the teensiest of scraps left over. This is honestly all of the fabric that was left, so I think I'm just in the same boat where it's just gonna be slightly too small again. And then right here are the sleeves, but I'm going to set that aside and get back to it later, because I don't think doing sleeves after 10 o'clock at night is a particularly good idea. But today, these came in, and this is some boning that I ordered because I ran out, and I don't like how tightly that is coiled, but there we are. I just bought it off of Amazon. It is 10 meters. And then this is 50 yards of 1-inch wide cotton twill tape, which I also ran out of while I was working on that project. I think I had enough to get the boning channels in, I think, but I did not have enough boning to actually finish it. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can finish that project tonight. Okay, good morning. It has not been a very productive morning, I'm afraid. It's actually afternoon right now. It's not even morning anymore. But I thought I would go ahead and give you an update on what we're going to be getting up to today. So last night I managed to make a whole lot of progress on the 1940s house dress, and I plan to finish that one today. It is just there. It needs some buttons, it needs some shoulder pads, some sleeves, and hem, and then we are good to go. And that would be done, which is very exciting because I would love to have that back in my wardrobe. I don't think it's going to fit any better than it did the last go around, simply because I did not have room to add to the seam allowances because I didn't have enough fabric, just like last go around. So I have actual scraps of fabric left, and that's what it is. After I set that aside for the night because it was getting to be too late and I didn't trust myself to put sleeves in too late at night, I went ahead and started organizing my sewing room a little bit, because I built my IKEA shelf back there, rack, my IKEA rack, and it's back there. And then I just kind of got in a fit of organizing to see kind of what fabric do I have, what projects can I do next that aren't too involved, that can be like a dress in a day, because I really want to expand my vintage wardrobe this year. And there are some dresses that I've made but I didn't make a video on, simply because I don't think the filming was particularly good, or if I even picked up the camera at all, or the garment itself didn't turn out like two of the vintage dresses on that rack, and it didn't work out. Let's just go with that. So I'd like to focus a little bit more on expanding that vintage wardrobe, finishing up some projects that I have, and yeah. So let me go ahead and change the battery because it's fussing at me, and I'll take you through my plans. Welcome to the floor of my sewing room. And it's clean for once. Well, anyway, so I went through my fabric stash and I went ahead and pulled out all the projects that I have fabric for that I would like to make within the coming weeks or probably year in the case of this pile. So first one up, I have this synthetic twill that I've had for forever. I think it was my grandmother's actually. I have 2 yards of it, which is just enough to make, I think, this dress. Version A, 54-inch wide fabric, 1 3/4 is all it asks for. So I do want to make version A of this dress, this one right here, out of this, because I'm pretty sure this is a 60s, your typical 60s synthetic. So I think it would work very, very well for this dress because I think it has enough body on its own to support the structure of that dress. And I think it is a cute dress, so I'd like to add it to my wardrobe. I don't typically love 60s, but this one's an exception. And then below that, I have this Reproduction Simplicity dress. I have followed this before. I did not film it because the dress is really cute, and I used a really pretty white eyelet fabric, but it's a little bit more sheer so you could see the seam allowances underneath, like through the dress. Like, I need to deconstruct it and put it all back together again because I hated it. So I'm going to make it again out of this yellow fabric, which is also a little bit sheer, but I'm going to line it. I'm going to flat line it. And when I remake the other one, because I do plan on remaking the other one because I love, love, love the finished dress, that will be flat lined as well. So, and that one's 1950s. And I have another Reproduction 50s dress. This one, I want to make one that looks just like this little lady here in the yellow, except her fabric is gingham and mine is the same fabric. It's striped. These are 2 curtain panels, and there is enough yardage here to make a dress out of them, so that is my plan. And hopefully that dress will turn out cute. We will see. It'll either look really kitschy or really cute. I really like the blue version as well, but I don't have any blue fabric, so we will stick with, and I wonder actually, honestly, if I just not do these pieces here, I could probably just make that to be a really cute little t-shirt dress. Either way, I think it'll be very cute. But the last time I modified one of those retro Butterick's, it was not nice to me. It's that red gingham one over there. And I'm still figuring that out. Okay, so the next project is this one. This is continuing in my efforts to do my best to match the cover art. I don't have any more of this fabric. I'm pretty sure I got it on clearance, so I can't make the yellow jackets go along with this one. This is another Simplicity one, but this one's actually vintage. But I have this white and yellow floral, white, yellow, and brown floral. Mine's more dense than hers is, but I also want to figure out that neckline because I'd like to make that dress again in black with a fitted skirt, which would be fairly easy to do once I get the bodice fitted. And then we have this one. This is a McCall's pattern. And I love the white and red polka dot one. However, I don't know how to work with chiffons. I don't really want to work with chiffons. So we're going to make this one instead, the blue version. And we're going to be using this ivory and brown floral that I've had in my fabric stash for 3 years now. I've had it for a minute and I'm very attached to it, so I think it's time to use it. And that one actually reminds me a lot of something I would see in The Crown that she would wear while she was on holiday. So, and then this one, we have this advanced teenage fashion pattern. I just think it's a really cute dress. I'd be making this one with a tie belt. Hers, the one pictured, she's wearing a green stripy fabric. And I do have a white and navy stripy fabric, which I think would be very cute in this. However, it's really sheer. It's extremely lightweight shirting. And I don't think I would like this fabric lined, so I'm going to save that for something else, and then I will be using this fabric instead. It's going to read very Dorothy, I think, but I think it'll be very cute regardless. And then we have this McCall's 1950s pattern, which I adore. I would love to make the green version, but I can't find fabric that looks like the green version, so I'm going to do the brown version. Are we seeing a trend here? I like brown. And I have this, like, loads and loads and loads and loads of this linen. It was $12 a yard. It's almost a canvas weight linen, but I think it'll soften up with a few washes, and I have plenty of it, so I won't miss it by putting it into this dress. And this dress requires quite a bit of yardage. I think it's like something to the tune of like 5 yards. If I wanted to do, what is it, view B? View B, yeah, it's like 4 5/8, so it's a lot of yardage for that one. And that is a fairly wide fabric that they're asking for. Well, no, 3 5/8. So 3 1/2, 3 5/8. Okay, so it's really not that much yardage, because this is really wide fabric. And then I have this Simplicity pattern from Outlander. This is an American Duchess collaboration. I don't have all the fabrics I need for this, but I do know I want to make the this plaid version here without the ruffle, and I want to make it out of this curtain panel I have. It is the only yardage of fabric I have of this. I don't have a second curtain panel, it's just this one. And I also have this shimmery white organza, so I think I could do something really, really pretty with that. So that is the plan for that. I don't know if I have enough fabric, but we'll lay out the fabric and see at some point in the future. And then back to the 1950s. I picked this one up for less than $5 because it was on sale. This McCall's pattern. This one is a size 10, so it's, I think, slightly too small for me actually, but I do want to make the full skirted version of this one. I kicked around the idea of the slim skirt, but actually looking, I don't like the way it's gathered, so I'm not going to do that. It's gathered in the front, but it's got darts to shape the back, which is weird. So I don't love the look of the slim skirted one. I'll do the full skirted one, and I'm going to use this pink stripy fabric. This is also very, very extremely lightweight. But I think I have a fair amount here, and I think it'll gather down quite nicely. The skirt won't be nearly as full as that one. That's fine. I'm not too hung up on full gathered skirts. And then I have this fabric set aside. I need to find a coordinating fabric to go with this Robe a la Turque by Angela Clayton. It's one of her McCall's patterns. I've had this one for forever. I would like to use it. So I'm thinking maybe I go ahead and make the overdress and eventually just find the underskirts, because I really want to test out the overdress because I would like to use that same pattern for something else, and I want to see what it looks like. And then I have this Victorian Butterick pattern that I picked up not very long ago, and I know, hear me out, I know it's not in any way historically accurate, but I think this will teach me the basics of what I need to know for proper Victorian stuff, which I would like to get back into. And I love her hat. And I think when I pulled out the pattern pieces and looked at them, they aren't too far off of the shapes that you would see in actual Victorian patterns, because I've looked at Victorian patterns, I've tried to scale Victorian patterns. It did not go particularly well because I was still learning at the time. I'm still learning now, but I think this will kind of teach me the basics of what I need to know in order to make a well-fitting Victorian bodice, so that way I can make well-fitting Victorian garments. And I have these two polyester fabrics. This is just a nice, very, very lightweight gold. And then this one is a coordinating, really pretty seafoamy and gold stripy fabric, which I think will look really nice. And I've got some trim that coordinates with that too. And then I want to finish Jen. I've got her vest under construction over in a bin somewhere. I've already made the shirt. I would like to remake the shirt, or at least cut down the sleeves anyway. And I'm going to use this gray twill for her pants. It's a fairly sturdy gray twill, so I think it will be just fine. And I'm going to modify these pants as well because they end just above the boot, and I know Jen's actually has some pin tucks shaping it around the ankle, which I think would be really cool to do. So eventually I would like to work on Jen a little bit more as well. And oh yes, and this one, I left the fabric in that basket over there underneath my hat. But basically I would like to make this version, the slim skirt version of this dress, and I'm going to be making it out of a black cotton sateen, and for the little back flaps I plan on using red polyester satin. So that is coming up for Valentine's Day actually, so you guys might see this one first if the filming goes okay. I don't want to jinx it. So those are my plans that is what I have been up to. So the plan for today, going back to today because this is all future plans, the plan for today is to finish the house dress, cut out probably this Simplicity fabric, probably this Simplicity pattern, and do my homework. So homework first, because that is the most important thing. I've got to get that done. Today I am going to finish my history and then start on my economics, and then I will cut out some fabric and try and finish my 40s house dress before the day is out. It is already late in the day because I got up late. I was very tired. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. After my coffee break, because my mug is so cute. And probably a snack as well. Oh, I forgot. And while I was doing things yesterday, I had a package come in the mail. It was the twill tape and the boning that I needed in order to finish my Edwardian corset. So that's almost done. I just need to stitch down the new boning channels out of the wider twill tape. I was using a thinner twill tape, which wasn't working. And then bone those, and then bind that, and then that is done also. Which is great, because that means I can move on to my Edwardian projects. Like finishing that one. That would be nice. Okay, so history is done for now. I'm going to make some lunch and then probably switch over to economics. But before I do economics, because I hate it, I'm going to cut out a pattern, and I will show you which one and which fabric that I am using. Okay, so I have cut out the pattern pieces for my Valentine's Day dress. They are right here. And I've also saved the tissue paper cutoffs because I could probably use these for modifying other patterns. So I'm going to hang on to that. But one thing I want to look at before I cut into any fabric is I want to look at the measurements that are actually printed on the pattern pieces themselves, because I don't know if you can see here, but right here it shows measurements and like coordinating sizes. So for the bodice, and this is the bust piece because this bodice is made out of two pieces. You have the midriff and then you have the bust. So on the bodice front, a size 6 measures in at a 33.5 inch bust, and a size 8 is a 34.5, 10 is 35.5, 12 is 37. So if I were to look at the pattern envelope, it would tell me that if I have a 26 inch waist, the coordinating bust size would be a 34, which is I already know is too big for me. So if I go down to a 10, that would be a 32.5 inch bust, which is closer. But if I look at the pattern pieces, because there's ease built into these, I would actually need to cut out a size 6 in the bodice in order for it to fit me appropriately. If we look at the bodice midriff, the midriff front, it says a size 6 is a 25 inch waist, whereas on the pattern envelope it shows that a size 6 is a 23 inch waist. So that's 2 extra inches of ease built into this pattern for the waist, which is excessive. I don't understand the purpose of ease, so if somebody could explain that to me, that would be great. So in lieu of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut out a 6 in the bodice, the top bodice portion. And then on the midriff, I'm going to start at a 6, but then I'm going to taper down to an 8, because an 8 would be a 26 inch waist. And then when I look at, la-di-da-di-da, whatever it is, the skirt pieces, it will have our hip measurement. So a size 6 is a 36 inch hip, a size 8 is a 37 inch hip, size 10 is 38, so on, so forth. I think I have a 36 inch hips. I'm gonna measure to be sure, but I'm pretty sure my hips will measure in at 36 inches. So I'll probably start at an 8 and then taper down to a 6 when I cut out these pieces. So that is my plan, and that is what I'm going to do. And then I will do a mock-up of the bodice. I'm going to also probably maybe pin these skirts because I like a rather fitted skirt, and that one actually might be quite fitted, which would be nice. I might taper in the bottom a little bit because I would like a nice base skirt pattern, and depending on how long this is, I hope this is fairly long, because I like it to fall below the knee as well, which it does in the image, so we shall see if that is the case. I'm not particularly tall, so who knows. But yeah, so I hope this might be a good pattern for just pencil skirts in the future, because I did buy this lace skull material from Joann's, which I absolutely adore, and I would love to turn it into like a pencil skirt. Not a super tight pencil skirt, but like just a nice straight pencil skirt, because I think that would be super cheeky and super cute, because at first glance it just looks like a lace skirt. You look closer, it's a bunch of little skulls. I love it. So I would love to make that up here in the next few days as well. But I want to test this pattern and see if that would work, if that would be appropriate for that, because then I could just create a waistband, done. So I got off topic. Let me go ahead and cut this up out of any scraps that I might have remaining. So. Hello. Okay, so just to kind of give you guys an update on where I ended up last night. I thought I was going to make more progress than I did, but that was not in fact the case. I just got home from work and I would like to go ahead and just get right in on this, but I've got a couple other things I have to do, a couple items of housekeeping, if you will, before I could finish this up. But tonight, for sure, I want to go ahead and sew down the underside of the bound buttonholes and then slide those open, so that way I could go ahead and install the buttons. I think I'm going to go with the green buttons that I had selected for this. I asked a couple of friends of mine which buttons they preferred, since I am hopeless at the Instagram and do not do Instagram polls. So the two buttons that I was considering, the two styles of buttons, were these little red ones here or these green ones. And when I put the dress on the mannequin, and I'll insert a picture maybe, my friends liked the darker ones better than the red ones, so we're gonna go with these. Even though these red ones are pretty spot on for the colors that are actually in the dress itself. It goes from like a little burntish yellowish, like a yellow ochre kind of color, to this red. They liked the green better, so the green is what we're going to go with. So that is the plan for tonight after I finish the more pressing obligations that I have. And then I also made a lot of progress on my Valentine's Day dress. I've got the bodice basically completely made here, and then I have the skirt seamed together. I just need to attach the skirt to the bodice, install a zipper, and then do the hem. The house dress really just needs a hem and on the dress, and then on the sleeves, and then all the closures, and then it's done. And then I could move on to yet another project that I have planned out. And after I finish those two things, I'm probably gonna call it here call it there for this week's vlog. This has gone over the course of about a week, even though I didn't film necessarily consecutively. I have been filming for about a week now. So yes, I think we're gonna call it, and I'll update you with all of this